The House and the Senate passed a bill to force the Justice Department to release its files on him. Now, this comes after months of opposition from the president and the GOP leadership, and after years and years of lobbying from Epstein's accusers. Some of them held a very emotional news conference outside the Capitol before the vote. Caitlin Huey-Burns is on Capitol Hill with the latest. Caitlin, good morning. It was quite a day yesterday.
Oh, good morning, Gail. Well, this is something we hardly ever see up here on Capitol Hill. Nearly every member of Congress agreed to support a measure that Republican leadership never wanted to take up in the first place. And it was an emotional scene for survivors of Epstein's abuse who were inside the House chamber to witness a vote months in the making.
In the House, it was nearly unanimous. By a 427-to-1 vote, lawmakers approved a measure requiring the Justice Department to release its files related to convicted offender Jeffrey Epstein, all while survivors of his abuse looked on.
We did it!
And just hours later, it sailed through the Senate without objection.
The Senate has now passed the Epstein bill.
The moment marked the end of months-long drama on Capitol Hill.
We've registered our concerns. We stated our opposition as long as possible, but we're also for maximum transparency.
Now, Trump has said he would sign the bill, but he's called the Epstein controversy a distraction.
You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax.
The House Oversight Committee has separately released troves of documents from the Epstein estate, which include an email from 2019 where Epstein wrote that Trump knew about the girls, a claim Trump has denied repeatedly. Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie led the bipartisan effort to force the House vote.
Are you concerned that the president may not release everything, even if this is signed into law?
Well, it's not up to him. Like the FBI director, the DOJ, Pam Bondi, they would be criminally liable. This is why we climbed the steep hill, which is to get the bill passed in the House, the Senate, and to present it to the president for his signature so that it would have the force of law.
The survivors at the heart of this case say their push for transparency is nonpartisan.
While we are grateful for our allies in Congress on both sides, we've realized something. This fight belongs to us.
Now, the Justice Department, once this is signed into law, has 30 days to make these files public. But the president has asked the DOJ to investigate potential ties between some high-profile Democrats and Epstein, which some lawmakers fear could potentially limit what is released. Gail?
Caitlin, thank you very much.
Well, we're going to begin this hour with the congressional vote to force the release of government files on the convicted offender Jeffrey Epstein. That vote almost unanimous despite months of opposition by many Republicans, among them President Trump. The bill now heads to President Trump's desk. For more on this, how it happened and how it went down, we're joined by our chief Washington analyst, Robert Costa. Bob, good morning. Thank you for being here. When you think about the campaign and then the White House, President Trump was in favor of releasing the files, then he appeared to be against it, called it a Democratic hoax. Where's his head now? What are you hearing from inside the White House about how he's reacting to all this?
Good to be with you, Tony. Based on my conversations with people close to President Trump and in a visit to Capitol Hill, it's evident everyone in this administration and Republicans in Congress, they want to move on. Now, there are Republicans like Congressman Thomas Massie, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who want to keep digging into this. But for Republicans, they're feeling a bit of alarm, not so much about the Epstein files, but about not talking about the economy enough ahead of the midterm elections next year.
So this apparent split within MAGA world, what impact do you think this could have, or lingering impact politically on the president?
It's lingering because this is now going to lead to document after document potentially being released. And the administration will get scrutiny about whether there's enough out there about Ghislaine Maxwell and so many other characters that are related to this case in some way. So the questions will continue. Lawmakers expect that inside the Republican Party. At the same time, they feel like they can try to move on now that this has been addressed legislatively.
You know, Bob, some lawmakers have expressed concern that this document release will not be all that revealing because the White House will be able to redact or withhold some material saying there are ongoing investigations. What are you hearing on that front?
What I'm hearing is so many Democrats, should the House Democrats win power in 2026, are going to come back to this issue in 2027, 2028, should they win power in the midterm elections, because there's a real belief among Democrats on Capitol Hill that this Justice Department is too close to President Trump and just won't do enough in terms of disclosure. Republicans have faith in the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, but even some of them privately say this DOJ so close to the president, and they do wonder about the extent of what will be released.
Bob, thank you very much.
Well, the Crown Prince has long been isolated, but President Trump is welcoming him here with open arms, even praising his human.
They didn't do it under Biden. Be for real. Julie K. Brown's take on this is actually interesting. At first, I didn't understand it, but Julie K. Brown was saying that the reason why, I think it's a bit cope, but she was saying that, like, the reason why this wasn't as big as an issue in terms of, like, the files being released is because no one made a big fuss about it, for sure. But also, under the Biden administration, Ghislaine Maxwell was actually being investigated. Ghislaine was found guilty in January 2022. It's major cope to cover up for feckless Democrats. No, I agree. I think Democrats could have sincerely talked about this stuff leading up to the election. I talked about this stuff leading up to the election. I kept repeating that, like, Donald Trump is actually linked to Jeffrey Epstein. If you remember, the Michael Wolff stuff came out right before the election, and the Democrats, not even for a brief moment, utilized it. And I think the reason why they did not, utilize it was because of Bill Clinton. They were too busy having Bill Clinton endorse the party to go to Dearborn, Michigan, and talk about how, you know, the historic Palestinian areas are actually technically Judea and Samaria. Okay? I think it's also partially because the Democrats are also directly connected to Israel. It's obvious that with the exception of a couple naysayers, a couple spoilers, a couple loudmouths, specifically on the Republican side, where there's even more impact, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I hate to give them credit for this because their ambitions are probably not so clean, but Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, like with the exception of a couple Republicans, like and a couple Democrats, most people don't want to touch it. Democrats don't want to touch Israel. Jeffrey Epstein is also connected to not only Israel, but also connected to a lot of incredibly powerful donors. Part of the reason why I always say I don't think we're going to actually see the full thing is for that reason. I don't think we'll ever see how deep that well goes, you know? Carl says the files were cleaned because of Trump. I can totally see that happening. I believe it. Thomas Massey says on the floor of Congress, I just spoke on the floor before the imminent House vote on the release of the Epstein files. We must deliver justice for the victims.
He's trying to categorize the victims. He's saying, oh, we don't embarrass the people that went to the rape island. We should protect those names against unreliable accusations. Is he calling all of these victims unreliable? They've testified to the FBI. The FBI has these names in their possession. I asked the FBI director in a hearing, have you looked at the documents? No, he trusts everybody that's been there for decades. That is wrong. Do not let the Senate muck this bill up. And if you're a party to that in the Senate, you are part of this cover-up that we are trying to expose. I am sorry if one of your billionaire donors is going to get embarrassed because he went to Rape Island. That is what they have coming. In fact, they need to be on the other side of bars, a lot of them. Some of them will be embarrassed, but some of them need to go to prison, and the survivors know that. So how will we know if this bill has been successful? We will know when there are men, rich men, in handcuffs being perp-walked to the jail. And until then, this is still a cover-up. I urge my Senate colleagues, do not muck up this bill. The president has already said he will sign it. That means he will sign the bill that we have here today. Do not change this bill. He is ready to sign it. Give it to him. Put it on his desk. Let's get justice for these victims. With that, I reserve.
I think Thomas Massey, despite his freakish ways, being a Republican, like despite, you know, his freak ass attitudes on other on this issue and on Israel related issues, unironically is one of the best congresspersons. I don't know how, I don't know why. I don't, it's confusing. Like if you ask Thomas Massey on other trust me, he's crazy. Guns, gender, whatever, right? Wait, what's his opinion on the Palestine issue? Thomas Massey is one of the most aggressive anti-Israel voices in Congress and has been so consistently. So much so that he's almost, I mean, I would say he's like one of the leading voices on this. All right, let's see. My goat, my car guy. Thomas Massey is white Palestinian? Wait, what? No, that's Amash. And Thomas Massey has been Justin Amash was a libertarian Republican congressperson who is actually a Christian Palestinian. And even he wasn't as aggro on Palestine as Thomas Massey has been.
Even in that case, I regret to inform you, you're not going to get to see the full unredacted Epstein files. It's not going to happen. And here's why. We already know there was a DOJ whistleblower who came out and said, and James O'Keefe has the literal video of it, they said, look, we're purging all of this stuff about Trump and Republicans from the Epstein files and leaving in the stuff about liberals and Democrats. And so they're cleaning up those files. Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, came out yesterday and said they're cleaning the files. They're purging all the stuff of Trump and Republicans out of there. Even in that case, I regret to inform you, you're not going to get to see the full unredacted Epstein files. It's not going to happen. And here's why. We already know there was a DOJ whistleblower who came out and said, and James O'Keefe has the literal video of it, they said, look, we're purging all of this stuff about Trump and Republicans from the Epstein files and leaving in the stuff about liberals and Democrats. And so they're cleaning up those files. Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, came out yesterday and said they're cleaning the files. They're purging all the stuff of Trump and Republicans out of there. Even.
Okay, but why are we trusting James O'Keefe? Yeah, I don't know if James O'Keefe is a reliable narrator here, but I think it's just mostly, oh my God, so who said Naruto? Stop. Don't do that. That's crazy. Oh my God. He will be Hokage one day. Believe it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh no. Uzumaki looking ass. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't unsee it now. He's about to Nanda Tebayo his way out of here, okay? Itadakimasu. He's literally doing it. Itadakimasu. About the shadow clone jutsu. Oh, no. I paused him because he's about to shadow clone. I don't want you seeing him shadow clone, you know? All right, today I'm going to be trying out Chongqing Southwest University TCO. Okay? Another fan gift. Someone said there's no tobacco products allowed in Hong Kong. Ooh, smells pretty good. Kyle is going to love this. Kyle is the go with absolutely no drip. Yeah, only cigarettes allowed. Wait, Hong Kong is just... Ooh, I might have put too much in here. Yeah, apparently they have crazy bureaucracy. So they banned all tobacco. So it's not a problem if we have cigarettes in our bags going into Hong Kong. Here it is. I'm asking because Austin has like 1 million cigarette packs in his bag and in his pockets. So it would be very funny if he got stopped by Hong Kong police because he doesn't even smoke, but it would be quite funny. Okay. You already know. Performative. I'm on my performative. There it is. Got my hourglass here. Plant your Zins in his case? No, Zins are fine. You can travel anywhere the you want to with the Zins. Zins are not a tobacco product. It's a nicotine product. I am a performative tea drinker, as you guys know. I do not have a tea pet. Do you like the one-party system of China? Do you prefer democracy with multiple parties? I don't care however people get infrastructure. That's what I care. Hey, Hasan, random tip. Next time you're in the train in China, through the China Rail app, you can order food for the next stop, and it gets delivered to your seat. Try it out. It was the most insane thing when I was there. I know. I did it. It was awesome. Seeing you in China got me on a oolong tea kick. Hadn't had it since I was there in 06. Forgot how good it was. As a tea connoisseur myself, it's nice to see you truly embracing tea culture. I need a tea pet. Until I have a tea pet, I'm not actually fully embracing tea culture. Feel me? Don't forget to wash the tea, dude. Wait, what? You cannot bring Zyn into Hong Kong. Only 19 cigarettes can be imported into Hong Kong. Zyns cannot be brought into Hong Kong since they're nicotine products. It's crazy. You got to wash the tea, fam. I didn't wash this tea. I just dumped it. Make up your mind. Is it nicotine products or tobacco products? I don't know what the these guys are saying, but I think it's probably fine. Okay. With high quality, you don't need to wash. Well, this seems to be high quality, so I did not wash it. Anyway, where was I? We're talking about Epstein. Here's Pam Bondi. Now, remember, with the Epstein files, like, and releasing the Epstein files, like, it doesn't need to go through this process. Donald Trump could personally demand the release of the Epstein files, and the DOJ would release them, right? So the very fact that there's even this back and forth, there's this whole, like, getting the government to force Trump's hand to release the Epstein files, like, all of this stuff is kind of...
Will provide all the files by 30 days.
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
Madam Attorney General, the DOJ statement, the files would not release, mentioned the fact that review of the documents and the evidence did not suggest that any additional investigation of the parties was. What changed to launch this investigation?
Information that has come for information. There's information new information, additional information, and
oh my God, bro, they are so bad. They're so bad, but also they're not even trying. Support, bro. You're not a politician with a coalition building obligations. She would be great for Jeffrey's district. Wait, what? Of course I support Chi. What are you talking about? What? Do you think I'm going to be against him trying to primary Hakeem Jeffries? What the f? I didn't even say nothing. Why did you just assume that? Anyway, yeah, when they say new information came out, what they actually mean, and I'll translate it for you, is Donald Trump has given the A-OK. Donald Trump has given the A-OK. And for the record, I was listening to some news coverage on this issue this morning before I got before I went online. And what's really funny about it is that some Republicans are just straightforward. They straight up said, yeah, I was against it. Now Trump wants it out, so I'm for it. Like, there are Republican politicians out there who openly will admit to your face that they initially opposed the release of the Epstein files and now are for it, or at least whatever version will be released, is just, oh my God, Jesus Christ. It's just Donald Trump. Was Biden able to release the Epstein files while he was in office? Yes. There was plenty of time for him to release the Epstein files in the aftermath of the Ghislaine Maxwell investigation's conclusion. After the court proceedings, he could have just dumped all of it. They didn't do it. They didn't even use it as an attack line against Donald Trump, in spite of the new information that had come out from Michael Wolff's reporting, literally right up to the election. Michael Wolff did some coverage on this stuff and reported that Jeffrey Epstein was actually super connected to Donald Trump far after we had previously thought their connection had ended, where Donald Trump had claimed that he had severed ties with Jeffrey Epstein. And the thing is, they didn't do it. They didn't even use it as a talking point. They actually never brought up Jeffrey Epstein. If you recall my conversations at the time, my analysis at the time, I kept saying, why the f aren't the Democrats using this as an attack line? But of course, I knew why they weren't using it as an attack line. If you remember my analysis back then, I told you it was because there are far too many Democratic big ticket party donors, and also many prominent Democratic politicians like Bill Clinton that are directly involved with Jeffrey Epstein in the same exact meaningful ways that Donald Trump is involved with Jeffrey Epstein, perhaps even worse than Donald Trump's involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. And also, Jeffrey Epstein is an asset for the state of Israel, and Democrats are also uniparty on defending Israel. So these are the reasons why they never used it. So yes, it is copium to a certain degree to say that the Biden administration had no way of releasing the files. I guess at most you could just say, why didn't the Democrats make a bigger fuss about this? Or I guess the only line of defense is that, well, people weren't making a big deal about the Jeffrey Epstein stuff when Democrats were in charge. And there's some truth to that. And I think that's part of the reason why there's some truth to that. And I think part of the reason why there's some truth to that is because Democrats just did not want to make a big deal about it. They do now because Donald Trump is president. They do now because Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, and some other Republicans are also making a big fuss about not just Israel necessarily, but Jeffrey Epstein as well. So, yeah, I think it was Byron Donalds is straight up here. Look. Dude, I love how fraudulent these stupid are. God damn it, dude. Look at our politicians, dog. What are we doing? Prem Tucker, friend of the show of Zateo News, went up to congressional Republicans to press them on calling the effort to release the Epstein files a hoax, and then today, with Trump's permission, voting to release them.
Yeah, what do you make of the vote to release the Epstein files today?
That's good. We got it done. Now wait till you see all the dishonest media and everybody out there when Trump's not in it. What are they going to do?
I cannot begin to explain to you how open these guys are about their lack of interest in what happens to you. Okay? Like, they do not have a sincere bone in their bodies, man. They are like, oh, they're so insincere. They're such grifters. Even something like this and the hand ringing that has taken place to get this information out there. Like, I'm telling you, man, these are lizard people. If you are wondering why it takes a year to fix a pothole in your city, it's because the American government is broken. Every institution is primarily compromised and primarily have people like this all the way down to the local positions. It's just all ambitious lizard people, whether it be Jeffrey Epstein, whether it be only offering infrastructure contracts to like their nephews and their friends in a quid pro quo style situation. I'm just saying, generally, this inconsistency that you're going to hear from this is demonstrated in every aspect of American governance, okay?
What are they going to do? They're going to be whining and complaining about something. They're going to be sitting there conspiring now to figure out, well, if we get the House back, how are we going to impeach the man? What are we're going to have to come up with something else.
You
previously
previously
the records were destroyed. They destroyed the records. They're going to come up with something.
You previously said that you wanted to vote no on the Epstein hoax, and then you flipped.
Oh, we all did it. We all did it. President Trump wants it because it's going to exonerate. It's going to clear him.
Yeah.
So I think he's put this back on the Democrats now. You know, but you know what? If Trump was in it, Joe Biden would have went after him. He'd have indicted him on something, but he didn't do it because there's nothing there. It's the Trump hoax.
What do you make of Trump being mentioned in the latest trove of Epstein files more than anyone else?
There's 65,000 pages. Obviously, Epstein did not like Trump too much. He's pretty much in bed with these others. Summers, he's in bed with Clinton. Now, why did Bill and Hillary not want to come up, and we subpoenaed them, not want to come up and testify? Why not? It's a big cover-up. You know what's so interesting about it? It's all the Democrats. The Democrats that are tied to Larry Epstein, to Epstein. It's Epstein. The Democrats. It's not Donald Trump. And you guys keep spinning this.
Bro, he ain't even trying. He ain't even good at repeating the talking points. Like, this is half-hearted, you know? Come on, Donald Trump said it's fine. You guys are going to really get owned when you find out that Donald is not even a part of it. Why does this guy look like a baby who is old? Can someone explain to me what's going on with the way this looks? Like, why does he look like an old baby? I've never seen someone look like this before. You should not look like this. Yeah, this is what Boss Baby would look like if you filtered it with like the hyper realistic filter, like an AI hyper realism filter. This is what Boss Baby would look like. I am an old baby and your rhetoric is deeply offensive. Well, you kind of deserve it. Reverse Boss Baby. He just looks like a baby, but also old. Anyway.
Why do you do that? I said last night to CNN, I said, you guys owe him an apology. You're going to owe Donald Trump an apology for what you guys have done. I put out a post about the Epstein files. I got 12 million.
I thought Maxwell's case was in open appeals until October of this year, until SCOTUS denied her appeal. Is that not why the files cannot be released? I mean, look, dude, if there's a will, there's a way, baby. You feel me? Sure. I guess maybe that's the legal reason. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But what I do know is, especially after this Trump administration, this tenure, you can just kind of do whatever you want if you are the president. Okay? You can kind of do whatever you want if you're the president. Joe Biden, of course, did not want to do anything.
12 million views. And when you go through the thousands of comments, now there are a lot of nut jobs in this country, quite honestly, but they're all calling Donald Trump a. There's no evidence out there that's going to say Donald Trump was a. If Donald Trump was a, he'd have been indicted for something. And previous administrations that despise him.
He said the Epstein angle was the one I expected. If Donald Trump was around with young girls, he probably would have been arrested, right? Just like my favorite rapper, Drake. He hit the Drake defense. If Donald Trump was he would have been indicted. Oh, really? The quick reversal after that statement is, okay, do you think Bill Clinton is a he's unindicted? Because these guys who are complaining that people are calling Donald Trump a have been calling every Democrat not just a but like a vampire. You know? Too famous for the you suggested. Yep. Pretty good tea, by the way. Kind of almost tastes like Fruit Loops. The Chongqing Southwest University Tea Co. Logs, please. Honestly, maybe half copium, but I am willing to bet they will release the files after heavy modifications, but due to the incompetence, they will include something that will incriminate Donnie. Oh, I totally can see that. Yes. I can absolutely see that. The incompetence aspect, I mean. I think that they will release like the most redacted files of all time, but considering how this administration has prioritized loyalty over competence, every step of the way, they've actually ended up stepping on rakes, and they will probably do so in this as well. I've been saying that.
Like Joe Biden, all of them, they didn't do anything. They have nothing. Matter of fact, if Kamala Harris would be president today,
Kamala Harris.
We wouldn't be talking about that, Epstein. We won't be talking about Epstein.
What do you make of Donald Trump's birthday note to Jeffrey Epstein?
Donald
that was
Trump
very friendly
is the
and seemed to
greatest thing
suggest.
since sliced bread, and it.
These are the guys who also sincerely say that there's too much leadership praise in places like North Korea or even China, right? And it's like, brother, you're a whole ass adult. You know how corrupt the administration is. You're a part of the corruption. And you can just sit there and say that out loud. It blows my fucking mind. He said, okay, dick riding needs to stop. Okay, I just want to start there. Someone give me the Van Lathan quote, the one that goes viral every now and then, about dick riding. Because this level of dick eating needs to stop. Okay? We have to stop it. We have to stop it. This is too much dick riding. It is causing society to collapse. He is doing tricks on it. I mean, Donald Trump is the greatest. No, not this, bro. Come on. No, the video. This one.
There are going to be two guys sitting on a rock, and they're going to be looking out at the cityscape of Los Angeles or Miami. It's going to be all ruins. And they're going to say, damn, we used to have an amazing civilization. I read about it in some of these books that's left over. Like, for real? Like, yeah, man. Things were great. We had all kinds of stuff. We had people bring you food to your house whenever you want it. We had like go to a place, tip somebody, they dance for you. You have a great time. What happened to it? What?
You're literally the most embarrassing person I think I've ever seen. Gay. Brother. No. Don't ban him. 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 Come on. Brother. Maybe under different circumstances. Maybe if you were in here, perhaps 10 minutes ago, when I actually sack tapped my own damn self as I was trying to pat off the granulated sugar off of my clothes and accidentally destroyed my chances of building a future generation. Maybe if you had come in then at that moment and said that, the rest of the chat would agree with you. They would laugh in unison. But the very fact that you came in to be like, you're the most embarrassing person I think I've ever seen and gay during this sequence. I mean, that's the most inopportune time to say this, brother. Look at the screen. You got you're so easy to rage bait. I'm not even raging. I'm making a joke, chatter. I'm just saying timing is bad.